Assalamu alaikum ji. I am Munib Nawaz and I am here at one of my favorite places in the city of Lahore. This is called Daftarkhwan. This is one of their most beautiful locations. And if you guys don't know about Daftarkhwan yet, stop living under a rock and start living where it really matters. These guys, I love the fact how they've built a community that has been super inspiring. And talking about inspiring, I am with somebody who I am lucky enough to call a friend, and somebody who has not just inspired me, but so many people in so many different countries, so many different cultures, for taking steps that I think represent a level of rebellion, freedom, expression that very few people have been able to take, especially hailing from here. But we'll talk a lot more about his journey. I'm talking about none other than the bad man himself, who's actually one of the most cute human beings on the inside, like the teddy bear syndrome on the inside. Faran Tahir, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Bhai. After this setup, मेरा ख्याल है मैं कुछ ना ही बोलूं तो बेहतर है.
चले भाई, let's go.
बेहतर नहीं कर सकता. हाँ, वही कहने.
Let's go. Okay. So Faran, starting off with the family, because where you were brought up and how you were brought up, what it inculcated in that head of yours, which has a lot of aeration.
Yes,
and
now
ventilation.
a little bit too much, but yeah.
So how did that get you to propel from where you were to where you are?
वो couple of things. एक देखो ना, एक तो चीज़ होती है आप किसी भी घर में, किसी भी ख़ानदान में जहाँ पे कोई एक इंडस्ट्री जो है वो डोमिनेंट है. अगर आप डॉक्टर्स हैं तो आपके घर में मेडिसिन की बात ज़्यादा होगी.
बिल्कुल.
Right? उसी तरह मेरे घर में बिकॉज ऑफ द फैमिली बैकग्राउंड दैट आई केम फ्रॉम, वहाँ पे द कॉन्वर्सेशंस वर ऑलवेज अबाउट plays and films and literature and this and that. So it has an impact on you.
Yes.
Subliminally it has an impact on you. लेकिन मेरे ख़ानदान में कभी किसी ने nobody was ever pressured to do one thing or the other. जो आपका जी चाहता है वो करो, बस अच्छा करने की कोशिश करो और इज्जत बचाना हमारी. Basically. Anyway, so when I started, I was focusing on economics and business and politics of developing countries.
Interesting.
That was my focus जब मैं गया था.
That's still what you're doing.
which I think you can't really take out of your life because that's part of your life. But I found myself always in front of the theatre department.
Okay.
आहिस्ता कोर्सेज लेने शुरू किए. एक वो थी तो
वो थी ना, जो
खुजली तो थी ना. Anyway, so जब वो सब कर लिया तो कुछ कोर्सेज लेने शुरू किए. Then got more into it. So my advisor, अल्लाह उसे जन्नत नसीब करे, he came to me and he said कि यार Faran, you have academic schizophrenia. तू कभी ग्रेजुएट नहीं कर सकता. ठीक है, क्योंकि एक तरफ तेरी पॉलिटिक्स और इकोनॉमिक्स और बिजनेस से कोर्स है, दूसरी तरफ लिटरेचर और ये, तो इनको कैसे मिलाएंगे,
ब्रिज कहाँ से करेंगे. यस.
सो व्हाट ही डिड, अगेन अल्लाह उसे जन्नत नसीब करे, ही क्रिएटेड ए डिसिप्लिन फॉर मी एंड आई चेंज्ड फ्रॉम बिजनेस एंड इकोनॉमिक्स टू हाउ art and artists survive in developing countries.
Interesting.
So that gave me the base. But then I got my MFA and things started to happen. One thing led to another. सिर्फ इसमें इतना था, going back to my family, मैं अपने बाप को लिखता था, अब्बा जी को हमेशा कि I want to be an actor, I want to be a director, and he would write back only one thing. Why?
Nice.
ठीक है, because जब आप इंडस्ट्री के अंदर हो ना तो आपने इंडस्ट्री को हर तरफ से देखा हुआ है.
बिल्कुल.
सो फाइनली एक दिन अब्बा जी ने मुझे ख़त लिखा विच आई थॉट वाज रियली अमेजिंग. उन्होंने कहा बेटा मुझे नहीं पता तेरे में टैलेंट है कि नहीं, ये तो वक्त बताएगा और दुनिया बताएगी.
Nice.
लेकिन इतना याद रखना, और ये मैं हर इंटरव्यू में बताता हूँ ये बात जब भी मुझे मौका मिले. एंड ही सेड कि इन दिस बिजनेस सक्सेस एंड फेलियर बोथ कैन रूइन यू इफ यू आर नॉट ग्राउंडेड.
Nice.
Which I thought was a great...
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you decide to leave Pakistan and what was the sort of tipping point for that decision?
Again, now I'm going to date myself. This was way back when dinosaurs roamed Pakistan.
Just when you and I were like just hunting those guys.
नहीं, उस वक्त political हालात काफ़ी बुरे थे.
Nothing really has changed. It could
Yes.
be. It could be yesterday.
It could be yesterday, exactly. Why do you think people leave so much? और political हालात बुरे थे, colleges बंद थे, करने को कुछ था नहीं, वेलियां खा रहे थे, and we were getting into trouble. मेरा advantage ये था कि I had an American passport because my parents were there when I was born. They were studying. तो मुझे वीजे की प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी, एडमिशन की प्रॉब्लम थी, so I got an admission and I left.
Nice. So now that you've spent, like, let's assume 2 days across the world, since हालात खराब थे तो आप तब गए थे. Where did you find more sort of creative expression and freedom? Because यहाँ पे, obviously coming from the family, you were allowed to play around. And over there, you were in a newer space. So how long did it take you to actually get to a point where you were like, this is me, this is how I want to live my life?
That decision, there was a battle of mind and heart. पहली चीज. Mind being logical keeps telling you to do things that are safe.
Yeah.
ठीक है. Heart wants you to be adventurous.
Okay.
In this case, I think my heart won out. मैंने वो business और economics छोड़ दिया, and I went fully into this.
Okay.
Which I think was the best decision for me to make.
I think the results prove
उसमें
it.
ये है ना कि देखो, again आपको पता होना चाहिए आप कर क्यों रहे हैं.
बिल्कुल.
ठीक है. जब आपने ये तहैया कर ही लिया है कि आपको ये करना है, तो फिर आपको ये करना है.
So one of my favorite books is Start With Why, and the Simon Sinek thing. And उसके अंदर भी वो ये कहता है कि what is your why?
Yeah.
What was your why? And what is still your why?
That's a good question. I think whys also evolve.
Always.
You see, and they should.
Yeah.
And they should. And you shouldn't feel कि अगर आपका why evolve कर रहा है तो somehow the other, either you're selling out or you're not doing what you're doing, आप हर वक्त evolve कर रहे हो.
Exactly.
ठीक है. मैंने जब शुरू किया था तो my why at that point was curiosity.
Oh.
I wanted to learn.
Interesting.
उससे मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता था कि मुझे पैसे ज़्यादा मिलेंगे, कम मिलेंगे, क्या होगा. I did theater on the streets.
Nice.
I drove a van 6,000 मील up and down California coast.
Nice.
2 actors trying to do, so I mean, so you do it for that reason. Whys बदलते हैं और बदलने में चाहिए. अब मेरे 5 whys हैं.
Awesome.
इनमें से 5 अगर सारे हो जाएं तो ईद हो गई.
Okay.
या कम से कम एक होना बहुत लाजमी है.
ज़रूरी है.
ठीक है. या तो it needs to be a really good role.
Okay.
या it needs to be a really good script that I can be a part of.
Okay.
ठीक है. या it needs to be somebody I really want to work with, which will give me some growth.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a company that I want to, some Marvel here. Yeah, I want to create a relationship with, being practical. Yeah, it should be great money.
When were the few times you got all 5? I can name a few.
A few times.
But you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, IronMan was one of them. StarTrek was one of them. Escape Plan was one of them.
For sure.
Elysium was one of them. Coup I just did was one of them.
Okay.
So, I mean, वो आते हैं, but आपको पता होना चाहिए आप क्यों कर रहे हो.
Nice.
And then try to give as much of yourself as you can.
As you can.
Yeah.
Are you an all-in, all-out person, or are you like, once your why is divided by 5 or by 2 out of 5, do you give that much?
No. Once I'm in, I'm in.
Nice.
And to me, लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं कि जी आपका favorite role क्या था? मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ कि आपका favorite role जो आपने last किया था ना, वो होना चाहिए.
Okay. Or the one that you're in.
Or the one that you're in. क्योंकि that means that you're giving everything you can. वो hit हो, वो flop हो, वो कुछ हो, वो अलग बात है.
For sure.
But you should give your all.
Okay. So after having worked with, some small time actors like Arnold and Stallone
these people? I don't know.
RDJs and stuff. These people. These boys.
This riffraff.
These boys. I did not say that. He said.
I did. Yeah.
Because he could. He stood in front of them with their phone.
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing is, the light that you get, it also shines on your own darknesses. And it also shines on your dark spaces. It also kind of brings out some of the stuff that sometimes even you don't believe in yourself.
Yes.
So when did that ever happen, and how did you cope up with that to become freer again?
Because doubt and fear to be very honest, even when I teach, I say it never leaves you.
Awesome.
And it should never leave you.
Yeah, it is a part of who you are.
It is a part of who you are, and fear is an energy. I'm now going to get like all metaphysical. देखो, fear is an energy. आप उस energy को इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो to help you out, or it can also paralyze you.
Yeah.
I would choose to make it help me because then I'm trying to do better than myself.
Awesome. How do you train your brain to do that? Because a lot of people I know, they get stuck when fear hits. They don't have the tools. So, you know, somebody like you who has achieved through the fear, what are the tools that you can give to somebody who gets stuck?
Yeah, for me, one of the biggest tools that I try to hold on to was technique.
Awesome.
कई दफ़ा आपको fear जो है वो paralyze कर सकता है, लेकिन अगर आपके पास craft के tools हैं, तो you can get out of that moment.
Interesting.
ठीक है?
Nice.
And then क्योंकि कई दफ़ा ये होता है कि fear can grip you in the moment.
Yeah.
अब moment तो चल रहा है ना.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to still do what you need to do.
Yeah.
So उस वक्त आपकी technique काम आती है.
The habits.
The habits.
The practice.
The practice.
The hard work.
The hard work. Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
So let's take an example of when you were shooting something.
Yeah.
Or a script came and you know it had all those 5 things.
Yeah.
Is your first reaction hooray, or is your first reaction like, oh dang, how will I do this?
Both.
I love that.
Both. So I'll tell you something.
And that's the truest answer anybody can give these guys.
It is, because I'll tell you, देखो एक तरफ, I mean, especially when we talk about stuff like IronMan या StarTrek, ये वो चीजें हैं जो हम लोग बचपन से खेल के grew up with these things, right? So I mean, I say this all the time. The first time I walked onto the deck of the StarTrek ship, which was supposed to be my ship, right? So I was like, मैं खड़ा हूँ वहाँ पे, और जो मेरा 10 साला बच्चा था ना मेरे अंदर का, वो लग रहा था मुझे यहाँ खड़ा हुआ है, because I was like,
damn, bro, I can feel
I'm
it.
like, I'm here.
Yeah.
But then you get over it. You go, you know, अच्छा यार ये कर दिया है. Now अब इज्जत बचा, कुछ कर. You know. So yeah. So then you can go on.
Okay. So with all of that also comes this sort of limelight, and your personal life gets in check. Your family gets in check. Your relationship gets a lot of checks, and you know we know each other well enough to know you've been through a lot on that front as well. How did that affect you? Did the fame affect you, or did the fame affect the people around you? And how were you able to deal with that stuff?
Look, I can't speak for if it affected them.
Okay.
My
success. Okay.
Did it affect me? Allah ke fazl se, because my father had said that thing. I'll tell you a little small thing. मैंने पहली film जो की थी, that was Jungle Book. I just finished my masters, and they're like flying you everywhere. आपका दिमाग जो है ना वो एकदम से,
yeah baby,
हाँ कि जी मैं right. So one leg of the journey, I was late, and they bumped me off of first class.
Nice.
ठीक है. अब भाई को उस वक्त, क्योंकि भाई उस वक्त चढ़ी हुई थी, तो बड़ा गुस्सा आया. But then I literally within that moment I also realized, मैं कहा बेटा आराम कर, तेरी औकात क्या है, ये जब खत्म हो जाएगा तो तू फर्स्ट क्लास में नहीं बैठा होगा, तो इकोनॉमी में ही बैठा होगा, तो थोड़ा सा अपने आप पे काबू पा. हाँ, hold your horses, it's okay. So yes, I mean, it can affect you, and in the moment it has affected me, because sometimes नशा होता है.
बिल्कुल.
But ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी है कि आप अपने आप को, you keep yourself for the most part kind of grounded.
Okay. So how do people take your successes? How much of that affects you during the whole process? Because, you know, there is a lot of energy, especially at home. Bacche, biwi, relationships, all of that stuff. How do you get to free yourself in a way where, you know, you are a father, you are in a relationship, you are an actor, you are a performer, and you are hired by somebody to perform irrespective of what is happening in your life. So the reason why I'm asking this is a lot of the kids that watch this kind of stuff, we all have like a dual life, a parallel life situation where there's, they have to deal with their home situations, they have to perform at work. They feel like, there's a lot of misunderstanding.
Yes.
So how do you get into a place where you just go out and perform?
I think मेरे लिए ना it's the same formula that I apply to acting.
Okay.
ठीक है. हम लोग ये समझते हैं कि एक्टिंग करना झूठ है.
Okay.
मेरे नज़दीक उससे ज़्यादा ऑनेस्ट और कोई काम नहीं है. मैं बताता हूँ क्यों.
Interesting.
जब आप अपने बच्चे से इंटरैक्ट कर रहे होते हो तो you're playing the father.
Yeah.
You're not being facetious. और आप झूठ नहीं बोल रहे हो, लेकिन you're investing yourself being a father to your son.
Yeah.
It's a role you're playing.
Interesting.
It's part of your personality.
Interesting.
ठीक है?
Nice.
Similarly, जब आप जाके बात करते हो अपनी अम्मी से, तो you're playing the son.
Nice.
ठीक है? And you're doing it honestly.
Yeah.
उसी तरह एक्टिंग भी जो है, एक्टिंग झूठ नहीं है. You're investing in that moment. उस वक्त बाकी दुनिया कुछ नहीं है आपके लिए. उस वक्त आपके लिए आपकी कुल कायनात वो है जो उस लम्हे में है. और अगर हम इस फॉर्मूला को ज़िंदगी में अप्लाई करना शुरू कर दें तो आई थिंक इट विल सॉल्व अ लॉट ऑफ आवर प्रॉब्लम्स.
Right.
हाउ टू इन्वेस्ट इन द मोमेंट.
Interesting.
सो टू मी आई एम नॉट लाइक यस, मैं जब जाता हूँ when I go work, yes then I'm working. और ये बात मेरे बच्चों को भी पता है, ये मेरे बड़ों को भी पता है that's what I do. उस वक्त मेरे लिए that is what's important. I'll get that done.
Does the stage or the magnitude of stage affect your sort of personal thought process in acting, like theater, TV, film? Uske upar, because the disciplines are very, very different. You have to act large at stage, act small on film. Wo wali, because you were the one who told me all of this. So I thought I'd bring it back to that.
Look, आपको स्केल समझना पड़ता है.
Yeah.
ठीक है. और शुरू में जब मैंने शुरू किया था तो I was like one of those guys कि मैं थिएटर एक्टर हूँ. You know that kind of thing.
Yeah.
और वो होता है कि अगेन एवोल्यूशन की बात है ना. लेकिन बाद में मुझे ये बात समझ आई कि हम लोग असल में वी आर स्टोरी टेलर्स.
Basically.
ठीक है. Whether you're designing clothes, whatever, we are telling stories.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah, for sure.
आपको ये देखना है कि कौन सी स्टोरी किस मीडियम में सबसे बेहतर तरीके से आप बता सकते हैं.
Interesting.
ठीक है. अब स्टार ट्रेक को आप स्टेज पे ले जाओगे तो इट लुक फनी.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So you custom design your focus based on what medium you're playing in and what you're trying to say.
Okay.
हाँ, अब आप स्टेज पे हो तो आप स्टेज पे आप एक्ट करने फ्रंट रो के लिए एक्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं. आप एक्ट कर रहे हो लास्ट रो के लिए. उनके पैसे पूरे करने हैं आपको. राइट. सो आपकी टेक्निक बदल जाएगी.
Interesting. So back to the being on stage and the conversation about, this is a conversation that I'm sure you've had to face a lot over the career, कि हमारे एक्टर्स को इंटरनेशनली जब भी डिपिक्ट करते हैं तो वो बैड गाय होता है जनरली. नाउ इज दैट सम फॉर्म ऑफ अ situation that these guys are kind of, they obviously own the narrative. How much do you have as a say in building a character which has vulnerabilities that can still also not come across as just like a bad person?
वो आपको assess करना पड़ता है. I mean, there are certain scripts I look at them and I go कि यार ये इन्होंने लिखा ही इस point of view से है.
बिल्कुल.
So not all work is good work.
Okay.
You have the responsibility and the ability to say no.
Yeah.
ठीक है. Sometimes I've taken work जहाँ पे मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ पे room है for me to create a conversation with these people.
Yeah. Interesting.
And sometimes ये जिम्मेदारी हम पे इसलिए पड़ती है because देखो हमारा ये कहना कि जी वो हमें किसी अच्छी लाइट में नहीं दिखाते हैं. True. लेकिन सच्ची बात ये है कि they have no responsibility to show us on any light.
Exactly.
You see, they're looking at the business model of it.
For sure.
ठीक है. The responsibility of telling our stories, वो हम पे आती है.
यही सुनना था. Basically, because I keep saying that people bring these questions, कि जी,
Yes.
when will they start telling our stories in the bit? Like, it is not their job.
It's not their
It
job.
is your job.
It's our job.
Yes.
We know our stories. Nobody can tell our stories better than we can.
Exactly.
So let's tell our stories.
Okay.
ठीक है?
On that front,
Yes.
what are we doing about that to create some stories that can be more globally adaptive or more globally heard and seen? And what is your role in that?
So a couple of things. देखो, in any industry, there is a domestic product
Yeah.
and there's an export quality product.
बिल्कुल.
ठीक है? Because you understand in two different markets.
Yeah.
जो हमारा domestic product खास तौर पे मीडिया में जो यहाँ चल रहा है, I understand that.
Yeah.
यहाँ पे एक डिमांड है, उसके मुताबिक कंटेंट बन रहा है. लेकिन जब आप ग्लोबली देखते हो तो फिर आपको देखना पड़ता है कि हाउ डू आई क्रिएट कंटेंट दैट कैन बी अट्रैक्टिव टू द ग्लोबल ऑडियंस, नॉट जस्ट द डायस्पोरा.
Yeah.
वो तो हमारे हाथ में है.
बिल्कुल.
जो हमारे जो वहाँ
देसी
पाकिस्तानी
वहाँ पे
देसी
रहते हैं,
उनको तो
हाँ.
वो देख ही रहे.
Yeah.
लेकिन अगर हमने माइंड्स चेंज करने हैं तो फिर हमें उनके माइंड्स चेंज करने हैं.
Yeah.
So how do we find a way to tell stories which brings them in?
Yes.
My view and my thinking is that the best thing we can do is to tell human stories.
Always.
उसके बाद आप उस पर कोई भी फ्रेम लगा दो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप एक स्टोरी कर रहे हो ऑन कैंसर,
Yeah.
ठीक है. नाउ कैंसर इज ट्रू फॉर अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड. वो आप जापानीज हो, चाइनीज हो, अमेरिकन, इटालियन हो, पाकिस्तानी हो, कैंसर इज अ रियल थिंग.
Yeah.
हम वो कहानी कैसे सुना सकते हैं? वी कैन पुट द फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ अस अराउंड इट.
Yeah.
It creates the human bond,
Yeah.
but it also shows that different people deal with the same issue in different ways. So it creates a bridge, an understanding.
And are you doing something that we will be able to see
Yes.
on
So-
the local front or
Yeah.
on the international front?
Both. So what I'm trying to do is, I've just created my own company here, and we're doing our own content. And
That's
the
cool.
idea is to bridge that gap.
Awesome.
वो कहानियाँ पकड़ो which can bring people in, not just the diaspora. So we're doing a couple of films. We're doing an animated content. So we're trying to create that kind of content.
Nice. So we're doing the one that I sent you many years ago.
Yes,
We'll do that.
Yes,
as
we
well.
will do
Nice.
that now.
Okay. So when you are taking stories, like you said, the stories, the human story is always global, right? Yeah. So how is storytelling different in Pakistan as compared to working with the international people that you worked with? Because I've been watching a lot of Korean cinema and the Chinese cinema, and these guys have some really remarkable, simple stories that they shoot so differently than what I would probably think of.
Like Iran does it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's छोटी सी कहानी
exactly.
लेकर
Yeah.
they'll make something beautiful out of it.
Yes. So how is it different from? What do you think is our core strength in storytelling that we can capitalize on with your experience?
We have a really great sensitivity about emotions.
Yes.
ठीक है. We as people, हम पाकिस्तानी हैं, we emotional people.
Shadid.
शदीद emotional.
बहुत ज़्यादा.
ठीक है. तो वो ये हमारी weakness नहीं है, ये हमारी strength है.
There we go.
ठीक है.
Yes.
अभी मैं आपको छोटा सा वो देता हूँ example. I did this show on Broadway called Kite Runner.
Oh.
ठीक है.
What a book.
Yeah. So when I was doing that,
Ouch book. Yeah.
so the director, who was British, came to me, or I played the father.
Okay.
So in the end, I'm dying and everything. So there's a scene, right? तो मेरे पास आया, he's British. उसने मुझे कहा कि maybe we should do it in a way when my father died. He was so tight-lipped, and so that I'll be okay, and then he didn't wake up. And I heard the story, and I was like, what?
That's
Giles?
not how we die.
No, I said, Giles, I completely understand, and I understand your pain. But you also have to understand that that's not how we express ourselves.
Yeah.
We have a different kind of an expression, and that expression is valid. ये हमारा expression है.
Yeah.
We are a little bit more emotional. You might call us melodramatic, but we are not being melodramatic. हम हैं ये.
Uh-huh.
So why can't we show that? Why are we making excuses कि जी American audience को ये palatable नहीं? क्यों नहीं होगा? We did it, and we got literally every single night we got a standing ovation.
Nice. Nice. And you know, we've got Maula Jats to prove the same thing, you know.
Of course.
Talk
of
about
course.
melodramatic
Of
and
course. ये हमारा culture है.
there we go. Okay, so now we go into this sort of tech era situation, social media and all of that situation. You've kind of kept a very low key, I don't know, intentionally or unintentionally. You know, even after doing films that you've done, like relatively small budget films, like you've done, वो उसके बाद, was it like a conscious decision, or were you scared? Were you unable to express? Were you unwilling to show yourself?
It was never my focus.
Okay.
ठीक है. My focus is to do my work.
Yeah.
मुझे कई दफ़ा लोग कहते हैं कि हमें पता ही नहीं था कि आप पाकिस्तानी हैं. जर्नलिस्ट ने मुझसे ये बात की.
Okay.
तो मैं कहा देखो यार, मेरा काम था वो काम करना, ये आपका काम है कुरेदना कि मैं हूँ कि नहीं हूँ. ठीक है. सो मेरे लिए हाँ, सोशल मीडिया इज अ ग्रेट प्लेटफॉर्म. आई एम ऑन देयर every now and then. I'm
Bits and pieces, hardly. Yeah.
I'm not active. That's not my focus is.
Okay.
My focus is acting, directing, writing, producing. That's my focus.
So, with the younger lot of people, and as a mentor to them, do you recommend that they focus primarily on that part of their craft? Because I do consider that craft.
Absolutely.
Content creation is a big craft. And they sometimes lose out on screen, but they get casted primarily because they're big in TikTokers.
You should know your why.
Okay.
Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
If you're doing it for fame,
yeah.
If you're doing it for attention, if you're doing it to increase followers, if you're doing it to get, I don't know, accounts and stuff, like, yes, then do that. Okay. Maybe if I had started now, maybe I would be doing the same thing.
Probably, yeah.
Lekin, because I started before this thing started,
yeah,
I had a choice. I don't know कि अब के लोगों के लिए वो choice है कि नहीं है.
Interesting.
Maybe it's their industry and their age is different. मैं उस age में नहीं हूँ.
Yeah.
ठीक है. I'm not going to be walking down, if people really want to sell their clothes, I won't be walking down a runway.
You would be.
I would
not
be.
From, come.
Okay, yeah.
For my show.
Yeah, that I would do. But what I'm saying is, आपका focus जो है, that depends on आप क्या चाह रहे हो.
Yeah.
मेरा focus कभी social media था नहीं. I use it as a tool.
Yeah.
जब कोई चीज़ प्रमोट करनी होती है, मैं कर देता हूँ. मैं वो आदमी नहीं हूँ कि जी अभी कॉफ़ी पी थी तो सेल्फी भी ले ली. अब पैटी खाइए तो सेल्फी. It's too much for me.
Yeah. So do you think as the person who is the craft, the people around you, have you been able to build that team? Because a lot of these people have built those people around them who are their content creators.
Yes.
And is that something that your management has recommended that you do take as a thing to do? Because it is communicating a part of you. Because people need to know the Faran behind the character you're playing as well.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, I have people who do that. उनका सबसे बड़ा गिला मेरे बारे में होता है कि because मेरा दिमाग उस तरह काम नहीं करता.
Okay.
I have to teach myself, this is my weakness.
Okay.
That if I am on a set, मुझे ये ख्याल ही नहीं आता कि यार मैं यहाँ पे तस्वीर लेके I'll send it to them so they can put it up there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a little stupid about that. So
okay.
That's all.
Inexperience, basically.
Yeah.
So the thing is, with the short format content situation taking over the world, do you see the next 10, 15 years, the storytelling to be as it has been over the last 50 some years?
No, it's going to change. It's going to change. देखो, एक तो people's attention spans are getting shorter.
Yeah.
ठीक है?
Yeah.
जिसकी वजह से we want quick instant gratification.
Yes.
अब आप कभी देखते हो उसके ऊपर, तो अगर आप कोई आर्टिकल भी पढ़ रहे हो तो नीचे लिखा था 3-minute read.
Yeah.
Or 5-minute read.
Yeah.
People don't want to go deeper into things. So I think content भी उसके मुताबिक there is a movement that ये नहीं होगा कि बड़ा content खत्म हो जाएगा.
Okay.
But I think smaller content is going to find its own
niche
place and niche.
Okay. Has there been a character that you have played that stayed with you after?
All of them do. लेकिन I'll give you a little trivia. So talking about IronMan, मैंने वो की थी आज से 17 साल पहले. And I'm finishing off a Marvel series right now
Okay.
where I have resurrected that character after 17 years.
Interesting.
So
But my question is more prevalent in your personal life, like when you're offset and you, because I haven't done a lot of acting, but I've done a couple of projects, and it took me a while to, realize कि oh ये तो वो वाली line थी type situation.
नहीं वो हो जाती है.
Yeah.
And I think अगर आप सही तरीके से काम कर रहे हो ना, तो it organically becomes part of your DNA for a while.
It does,
It does,
scarily.
right?
Yeah.
मुझे याद है Broadway कहीं स्पेशली थिएटर, अब आपने क्लोजिंग कर दी, अब 8 बजे हैं अगले दिन, your mind is going, आपकी लाइनें चल रही हैं.
Oh yeah.
फिर आपको 2-3 महीने लगते हैं to get out of it.
Okay, so one thing that I'm really interested in is when you, because I love Stallone's and the RDJs. What did you learn? What do you feel when you were in that company? Because I know they're human beings, but somehow the other, the magnanimity of their
Yes.
sort of character, just being in the room with those guys, you would be able to learn and pick up a lot of the vibes that I don't think you can learn from any Pakistani production, even the most senior people. What are the few things that you picked up from those guys? Because they've all had their highs and extreme lows.
Yes, they have. And again, Zindagi, they've gone through it.
Yeah.
And some of them have come out and actually, done really well.
RDJ stories,
RDJ
everybody's,
is right there.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I get out of them is complete and utter dedication to the project.
Interesting.
लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं डिफरेंस सबसे बड़ा यहाँ पे और वहाँ पे आप RDJ को या आर्नल्ड श्वार्ज़नेगर को या किसी को सुबह 4:30 बजे बुलाओगे ना सेट पे, तो वो 4 बजे सेट पे मौजूद होगा.
Nice.
ठीक है. Here it's a different story.
Yeah.
Right? It's that kind of dedication. They're focused. Once they walk onto the set, they're not the star.
Okay.
They're focusing on the role.
Okay.
उसमें एक humility है, उसमें एक focus है, उसमें एक wanting to do it better है.
Yeah. On the wish list, is there a director? Because I know I would see you in one director's film. What would your director be on the wish list?
There are a few right now.
Yeah, obviously.
There are a few right now. I mean, कुछ बड़े वाले हैं, I would, Spielbergs वगैरह हैं, because you just want to get into कि यार ये कैसे
ये सोच क्या रहे होते हैं,
क्या सोच रहे हैं, कैसे हो रहा है ये सब कुछ.
But take the name. Let's see if you get the name that I would want you to be in the film of.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Come on. Okay, let me just throw it in.
Okay, throw it.
Nolan.
Yes. I would love to do
that.
I had a couple of times I was in the mix with him, लेकिन हुआ नहीं.
Okay.
But one day.
So that is a very interesting point that you raised. So when you're in a mix of something like a Nolan production, right, and you don't get it, somehow or the other you don't make the cut, what do you take, and do you get lonely? Do you get the self-worth questions? Do you still get those self-worth questions? Do you still get lonely? And what is your sort of like mantra around that place?
In the beginning, it used to affect me, because अभी आप नए शुरू हुए हैं, तो your self-doubt is very big.
Okay.
Now अगर नहीं मिलता, तो it's not the fire that'll burn me down.
Okay.
It'll be the fuel that injects me to do more.
Okay, cool.
ठीक है. नहीं दिया ना मुझे, कोई नहीं, अगले साल देके छोड़ो. I mean, that's what happens to me.
Okay. So do you take that, so like you said, you don't take that as a failure. Yeah. And if you don't take that as a failure, what have you taken in your life which you felt was a failure?
What was failure? Well, I mean, there were plenty. I mean, कई performances were failures. That's one thing.
What about them was a failure to you?
कई चीज़ देखो, I'll give you an example. So I just did Macbeth.
Okay.
ठीक है, on stage, and I had done Macbeth 15-20 years ago.
Okay.
And I thought उस वक्त जब मैंने किया था, I was too young to play it.
Okay.
I did it,
Yeah.
and it was decent, but it was not what it could have been.
Interesting.
20 साल के बाद, when I could do it at a time where Macbeth is that age, it was a different thing.
Okay.
So that was, I would consider the first one a bit of a failure or a trial run, this one being better.
Okay.
There have also been certain performances where I thought I missed the mark
Okay.
at that moment. Maybe बाद में करता या उससे पहले किया होता, maybe it was the mental state, और जो जिंदगी में हो रहा था, maybe that affected it. I know, और ये आपको अपने साथ इतनी ईमानदारी होनी चाहिए कि आपको पता होना चाहिए कि आपने भंड कब मारा है.
Interesting. Yeah.
इतना आपको पता होना चाहिए.
Okay. So one of the things that you mentioned, which was very cool, and you took your time to kind of identify what failure is to you, is what I want to teach a lot of the kids out there as well. कि यार आप खुद realize ही नहीं करते कि वो failure होता है. It's just a stepping stone type situation, and to realize that आपने failure का standard सिर्फ अपने लिए बनाया होता है. आपको बाहर से कोई validation या invalidation की वजह से. So did any external invalidation affect you and make you think or go inwardly and say कि यार ये क्योंकि उसने बोला है तो मेरा failure था, or were you gauging yourself from your own yardstick?
हाँ, शुरू में because you're vulnerable, आपका इतना confidence नहीं होता, तो लोगों की बातें they do affect you a lot.
Okay.
There's no doubt. Failure जहाँ तक मैं समझता हूँ ना, लोग failure समझते हैं कि that's the end. I think you learn more in your failures than you learn in your successes.
There you go.
आपको success में एक नशा होता है.
Yeah.
Failure में आप you take a step back.
Yes.
हाँ, ये अब आप पे डिपेंड करता है कि आप उस फेलियर को do you use it for good or do you let it destroy you? That's your choice. लेकिन फेलियर से नहीं घबराना चाहिए.
हाँ. And there's practically no such thing as failure.
Nothing is failure.
I fear.
Nothing is failure.
On the contrary, we also get very kind of cocky when it comes to successes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much.
We do. It's true. It's true.
So when, how do you define success? Because I haven't been able to define it for myself. Do you define it?
I define my success by satisfaction.
Interesting. Okay.
It's not a monetary thing. It's a satisfaction thing.
Okay. So it's again an internal yardstick.
It's an internal yardstick.
Interesting.
And I think maybe it's wrong. Like, to survive, these are the tools that I had to create for myself.
Okay. Interesting. So ये भी अच्छा point आपने raise किया कि these were the tools that you created for yourself. Did you ever seek, like a psychologist or a helping hand or a therapist, or like, over there acting coaches and stuff like that, who may have guided you, or did you seek like a professional support ever to kind of deal with your situations?
Well, I mean, part of it, getting my master's, technique तो वहाँ से आ जाती है.
Yeah.
I think बहुत सारे therapists जो हैं, they've made their houses based on the money that I've given them.
That is important.
So yes, I have gone through all of that.
And it's very important to kind of be able to speak about it.
इस चीज को टैबू नहीं करना चाहिए. देखो, लोग बात ये भूल जाते हैं कि जब आपकी टांग में दर्द होता है,
हाँ,
तो आपका दिमाग आपको बताता है कि टांग में दर्द है, कि बेटा कुछ ले ले इसके लिए. जब यहाँ कुछ हो रहा है ना,
Exactly.
इसको आप वो नहीं बनाओ कि मैं अगर किसी थेरेपिस्ट के पास जा रहा हूँ या तो you are somehow the other, you're a failure. No.
Yeah.
This is also something that needs to be taken care of.
Like जब आपने बॉडी बनानी होती है, आप किसी ट्रेनर के पास जाते हैं. आपने दिमाग बनाना है, आप ट्रेनर के पास जाते हैं. Nice. Very important that we spoke about that. Now that you are officially 32 years old.
Yes, I am. Yes.
If you were,
and I'm sticking to it forever.
Yeah. 34 कर लें?
चलो
34. Okay. So if you were to look back at your 24-year-old self, 10 years ago, what would you say?
I would say, pace yourself. You're going to be fine.
Yes. And would that be the lesson you'd give your children?
Yes. देखो, in the end, हम failure और success की बात करते हैं. मैं फेलियर और सक्सेस में अपने करियर को भी नहीं देखता हूँ.
बिल्कुल.
I look at it from the perspective of body of work.
The holistic.
ठीक है, उसमें कुछ अच्छी चीज़ें भी की, उसमें कुछ बुरी चीज़ें भी की, उसमें कुछ फेलियर्स भी हुए, उसमें कुछ सक्सेसेस भी हुए, but it's the entire thing.
Yeah.
और अगर वो ना हो, अगर मुझे सिर्फ सक्सेस मिले, तो I won't be able to gauge my success either.
For sure.
You need the failure so that you can gauge your success, and you need your success so you can gauge your failure.
Interesting. Yes. So this is possibly the most difficult question that I'm going to ask you. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But if you were to stand right in front of the mirror, I would probably use some other words, but blatantly looking Faran in the eye, what would you know and believe as truth for yourself that this is who Faran Tahir is?
देखो, Faran Tahir, if I can stand in front of the mirror and look at myself and be able to go to sleep that night,
Yeah.
then I'm okay, Faran Tahir. Which doesn't mean that I'm always the best,
Yeah.
but I should be able to accept who I am
Okay.
with my good and my bad, and there is plenty of bad.
For sure.
ठीक है? But I should be able to accept my actions, my deeds, my convictions.
But who is that person? Like, what would you give yourself 10 deep adjectives, 5 good ones, 5 bad ones, if you were to be like that brutal with yourself and that also beautiful
Yes,
and bad with yourself? What would you say, कि यार, these are the 5 good things in me,
Yeah.
and these are the 5 bad things in me that
Yes.
I would be able to tell myself that I have accepted about myself?
Yes.
And moved on and be able to
Yes.
sleep.
I think in good things I tend to be very fair,
Okay.
not only with myself, with other people. I try to be.
You try to
I
be.
try to see the fair side of things.
I remember once we were doing that project, that
yeah.
one that we shall not speak about.
Yes.
But you know, one of the things you mentioned when the whole team was there, you was like, the best idea wins.
Always.
And I think that was a very smart. I took that and I applied that to a lot of my conversations
Good.
internally
Yeah.
as well. So yes,
so I mean
one is fair.
it's fair to me. Best idea does win. वो आपको कोई भी दे सकता है, and you should create an environment जहाँ पे सबके पास ये confidence हो कि they can add to it.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to it. So there's fairness.
Yeah.
I think I'm fairly sincere with friends.
I love that.
Yes, if I call you my friend, then you are going to be my friend.
Okay.
Okay.
Eventually.
Eventually, I'll put you to the test. हाँ, ये नहीं है. You have to earn it.
रगड़ा तुझे दूंगा.
रगड़ा मैं दूंगा.
रगड़ा मैंने खाया है.
एक दफा दूंगा जरूर, लेकिन जब उससे निकल आएंगे, so yeah. So
Yeah.
I do that.
Okay.
I think I am very sensitive to other people's lives.
Okay.
I'm empathetic. At times, in the moment, my temper can go. It doesn't happen that often, but it can go.
Yeah.
Usually, it has to do with work.
Yeah.
Personal life में आप मेरे साथ कुछ भी कर लो, काम में I do get that way a little bit.
Yeah.
अगर मुझे लग रहा है कि focus नहीं है, that's there. I think I sometimes मैं थोड़ा सा जल्दबाज हो जाता हूँ. That's a bad thing in me.
Okay.
Sometimes I tend to not assess the situation. I let my emotions guide me sometimes, which can be a good thing, but it can also be a really bad thing.
Okay. Okay. So in all of the 34 years that we decided,
Yes.
Would there be a regret that you would like to undo? That you might have hurt somebody, hurt yourself in the process, did something wrong that you know bhand mara tha, that you, and let that be a closing note for yourself as well. Ki, this was something that I did regret, and this is how I got over it to free myself from that, and I'm able to now sleep okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think आपके regrets होने चाहिए. अगर आपके अंदर regrets नहीं है ना, तो इसका मतलब है आपके अंदर conscience नहीं है.
Awesome.
ठीक है, आपको रिग्रेट्स होने चाहिए और मेरे हैं,
Okay.
ठीक है. There are things that I've done in my life that I wish I had done them better.
Nice.
ठीक है, maybe if I can go back and revisit them, maybe I can, and some of them I've tried to correct.
Okay.
You know, others, again, you have to accept yourself and you have to accept the reality. There are times when I haven't been able to do that. So, you know, being a human, wo regrets hain, you know. There are certain situations which, in retrospect, now that I look at them, I could have done better, and I didn't.
Interesting. And accepting that is what makes you human.
Yes. क्योंकि अगर मैं एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ तो अगली दफ़ा अगर उस तरह का खुदा ना खास्ता उस नौयत का या उस नौबत का की सिचुएशन दोबारा पैदा होती तो मे बी आई विल डू बेटर देन लास्ट टाइम. अगर मैं इस घमंड में ही रह जाऊँ कि मैंने कभी गलती नहीं किया तो then there's no.
I think that's the biggest failure of life, when you know you haven't done anything wrong. Faran Tahir, man, thank you so much, man.
Always a
This was
pleasure,
awesome,
brother.
man. This was awesome.
You're always my little
All right,
brother.
man. Great
You're always
meeting
my
you.
little brother.
All right, guys, this was possibly one of the most intense firesides that I have ever been a part of and got to learn a lot. I hope you guys take these jewels of semi-wisdom and honest experience of a 34-year-old Faran Tahir.
Chicken nuggets of wisdom.
Let's call them tender pops because they're smaller.
Chalo, okay, yeah.
They're bite-sized. And use them to yourself, because it's not only going to affect how you live your life, but how you bring every part of your life to every stage. And I always keep saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. So just know that you are a human being. You will make some mistakes, but your ability to rise beyond those mistakes is what's going to create the life that you really want to live. Thank you so much. This is Munib Nawaz signing out from Daftarkhwan's Fireside, as they call it. Some folks, just kidding. Daftarkhwan Studio. Take care, man. Khuda Hafiz. Good night.